seconds, because both of our runners will definitely be going for it. And we're off. Jay gets started on the wheel mix. Doesn't go for the recoil setup, but he lands it on wheel. Rox gets hammer! So now Jay's actually saving a bunch of time over Rox right now. Now, as a result, as you can see, Wheel just flies through these rooms. We want Wheel because it is the fastest moving ability horizontally. And because it doesn't save like a significant amount of time if you get it as opposed to missing it, Rox is going to just go without Wheel. Unfortunately, Rox doesn't... Neither of these runners really practice the movement without Wheel, so we may see Rox struggle a little bit in some of these rooms. Now in 1-2, Jay is going to quickly get rid of Wheel, inhale these two Brontobirds, and spit out the double star at Poppy Bros Sr. It will instantly take him out in one shot, and because the boss's health are so low at the beginning of the run, that's just the fastest way to get rid of it. Rox taking out Poppy Bros Sr. with the double star and nails those jumps between all those enemies. That's super hard to hit. But I like how he purposefully damage boosts through that Waddle Dee there to avoid getting hit by the Hothead ranged fire attack. Now in 1-3, Rox will be grabbing his first ability, and Jay will be keeping Wheel a little bit longer, but it will eventually switch to Burning. Burning's also pretty good at moving horizontally quickly, but it's also really good against mini-bosses and main bosses, which is why we will be picking it up. Now Rox picks up Burning here, and Jay will be picking up Burning in this room. So Jay about 2 rooms ahead of Rox now. A commanding lead so far. And now in 1-4, this is one of the main reasons why we want to have Burning here. We face a mini-boss, Mr. Frosty. Who, Mr. Frosty doesn't usually charge there, but Jay managed to deal with that pattern very nicely. 1-4, I think, is like... I personally think 1-4 is the hardest level in World 1, because a lot of the movement with Burning can be a little bit weird. Now here, Jay picks up an invincibility candy. This is just so we can easily get past all these enemies without getting hit. Invincibility candy does not increase the speed you run at, unfortunately. Ooh, Rox takes a bonk there, and Jay will be moving on to the first main boss of the game. This is Wispy Woods. And basically what we're going to do is we are going to take him out by pressing B a bunch of times. Now, this isn't just mashing, you have to press the button rhythmically, because if you press it too quickly, Wispy will basically have iframes during the attack and it will do nothing. Wow! Jay finishing off with a 3:19 World 1. That's actually a pretty good time. Now, in 2-1, there's not too much that happens in 2-1, but in this very last room, there's a little bit of RNG with this Twister coming up here. The Twister does not do an attack, so Jay can just burn straight through. Now, if the first Twister does do an attack, you actually need to wait before doing your second burn, or else you will be stuck inside that Twister and you will get hit. Rock's also getting pretty good luck from the Twister. And now in 2-2, we're gonna have another double star. Jay going for the 2-jump setup and nails it. Now we have Wheel again. And now as you can see, one really interesting thing about Nightmare in Dreamland is that a lot of the time, the ability the game tends to give you is the fastest ability to use in that area. Like this room Rox is in is just made for Wheel. Now, coming up is 2-3. In 2-3, we have a Meta Knights arena. But first, we have this really annoying water section. Jay choosing to squirt the first fish, and unfortunately doesn't quite make it through without losing Wheel. But that's okay, because Wheel, while it can be kept, it doesn't save too much time. Meanwhile, we have Rox here. Rox likes to go for the hardest strats, so he's going to try and keep Wheel throughout this arena. But this is a very typical looking 2-3 arena from Jay. Just has to wait to grab that spear guy, and then it's all done. Now, meanwhile, you have Rox. He's juggling this wheel ability. He needs to keep it, because after a certain amount of time, that wheel ability will burst. Ooh, I saw it bounce off of the lip of that platform there. I'm not entirely sure if that's what he wanted, but it ended up working out for him. Now, Jay's going to grab Spark here. Spark is really good against this mini-boss here. This is TikTok. And bam, TikTok's done. Meanwhile, we have Rox keeping Wheel here. He's going to use it against TikTok. Those wheel cancels there are a 2-frame window. Oh! So Wheel is completely invulnerable unless if you are turning. So unfortunately, it did take a hit there, but I did get a sick wheel bonk at the end. Why am I getting so many Discord notifications? So Rock's actually not too far behind of Jay. I kind of missed it, but there's one room where Wheel just saves a lot of time. So we may see Rox even catch up here. Wheel saves a little bit of time through this room, and it will also save time in the next room from not having to pick up Wheel again. Wow, Rox takes the lead! What? That's such a good comparison, dude. Even with the hit on TikTok, Rox manages to take the lead. Goes for the quote-unquote sub-pixel, but misses it. I'm pretty sure it has more to do with your actual pixel, but I need to test that. Now, we grab High Jump. High Jump's really good for vertical movement, which will be very useful in the next world, Butter Building, but it's also really useful against bosses. High Jump has 2 hitboxes, a large hitbox and a small hitbox, and we want to hit Paint Roller with a strong hitbox and a weak hitbox, so we want to get as close to Paint Roller as much as possible. Take him out. What? Synced. Alright, it's Butter Building time. Butter Building is a very vertical world, and oh my gosh, that sync is just amazing. What is going on? Both of our runners are running on Wii U VC, so they have like the exact same colors. Oh no! Jade ruining the sync by taking a quick hit against TikTok. Doesn't get the second high jump cancel hitbox. That's a hitbox, by the way, to take out TikTok, so he just has to slide into him instead. This is 100%, and in 100%, you have to grab 17 switches starting in 3-1. Did I say 13? Wait, shoot, is it 13 or 17? Wait, I'm second-guessing myself. But it's time for 3-2. 3-2, kind of an infamous level in Butter Building. Mainly, you have some really sick movements in this room, and in these next couple of rooms, but we have a very annoying mini-boss coming up, which is why this level is very infamous. Coming up is Bugsy. What Rox is going to do is keep high jump for Bugsy. We'll see Jay pick up Sword instead. That's not very good luck. Rox gets a forward throw. Ooh, manages to get his high jump back. And finally takes out Bugsy. I was a little scared Jay was going to get grabbed there. That was really tight. But Rox still manages to keep his lead out of Bugsy. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Bugsy can move forward, backwards, jump, charge. There's a bunch of things Bugsy can do. And even his throws are luck-based. You get either a forward or back throw, or you get the infamous down throw, which loses so much time, it's an instant reset for top runners. Now, Rock's saving a little bit of time over Jay by not having to pick up high jump again, like how Jay did in 3-3. But 3-3 is one of the easier levels in the game. And coming up, we have another pretty hard level. I found the 3-4 arena to get a lot easier for me over time. And I find that the room after the 3-4 arena is like 100 times harder. Because there's like so many ways you can get your input eaten there. Now in this arena, Rox will be just keeping high jump, and just like that, it's done. Rox doesn't get his input eaten, and is now floating up to the door. I'm not too sure if Jay got hit. Ooh, but misses the door there. Final boss. But now, Rox heads into 3-5. Probably the easiest stage in the game. Basically, just grab an invincibility candy, do some high jump cancels. And you just basically stand inside bonkers and just spam high jump cancels. Ooh! That was almost like amazing from Rox, those pass blocks, as I think they quote-unquote call them. Now Rox is heading into a pretty long and difficult stage. This is 3-6. And in 3-6 we have, first off, that cool strat. The community has come up with a really weird name for that strat. They call it the KO Boomer. And there's also that frog there. That frog is very annoying at times, but Rock's getting good luck. Goes around the room successfully. He failed that last time and completely lost high jump. It was pretty hilarious. Oh wow, just makes it in the door without having to do a slide there, or a puff. And that's the second switch of the run. Sword Knight was nice. And that's the first dark room in the run. There's only 2 dark rooms in the game, and the movement in them are pretty simple. And there are some blocks that are hidden inside the dark room, but once you know where to go, it's pretty easy. Look at this graph! So Rox just golded that split? Why was that so loud? Rox gets his moon. I wasn't even looking if he got it right or not. Jay also gets his moon and gets it right. There's a little meme in the community where you guess either the sun or moon or don't guess. World record doesn't guess. So you can decide which is the best option, chat. Most people say moon. Now, here Rox keeps high jump to get the third switch of the run. I'm not even gonna bother counting these anymore, it's too hard. And it's like literally never something to keep track of. Rox is going for another mix here. He completely messes up the setup. Oh no. So he's gonna go for a backup here. Gonna inhale this cutter first. And he gets hammer! Oh no. One late. Jay's gonna go for... He messes up the setup too! What's going on? 4-1's cursed. I think Jay... No. Oh no! The exact same result! Jay had an opportunity to save a lot of time. Well, a lot, like 4 seconds. But 4 seconds is 4 seconds. But unfortunately, Jay missed that opportunity. Now, in this room, we're going to be grabbing Spark, and we are going to be fighting Poppy Bros Sr. This strat Rox is going for is, Ooh, he tries to jump over that Poppy, but manages to fail, unfortunately. That strat was originally come up by, Suzuri. Shouts to Suzuri. Like, the one of 3 Japanese runners who ever ran this game. And Kirby's known for having so many Japanese runners. So this game's kind of like... not very many people in Japan run it. Now, Rox is going to go through the middle path in 4-3. It's like almost somewhat recent. There was sort of a drought in NIDL once the Catan tourney was going on and the relay. But now that the 100% tournament's going on, the game has sort of been revived to its almost former glory. Now Rox is going to pick up high jump in this room, and he's going to want to keep it past this warp star. It should be fairly easy for him. Makes it through those 2 enemies, which is like a little bit harder than it looks, I'd say. Just a little bit. Jay also manages to keep high jump, and Rox is heading into 4-4. I don't believe Rox will be going for the mix in this stage. Oh, here we go. He gets Mike! So Jay definitely doesn't go for the 4-4 mix, so he'll be saving some time over Rox here, which is pretty good for Jay. Now, that wheel mix only saves like 3 seconds, and it loses more if you miss it, because you end up just grabbing this wheelie anyway, so that's why it doesn't save very much time. And even if the wheelie wasn't there, after this room we grab Spark to take out a very infamous boss. Say hi to Fan, everyone. This is Fan. Fan sucks, but he's at least pretty easy. Oh, okay, he doesn't get anything back. On the fly ability-less strats? What? How did he make it past that wall, dude, without bouncing? Rox just, like, pulled a KA there. Now, Jay manages to keep Spark through that room. What the? Was that an up input? Now, this is 4-5. 4-5 is epic. Because you got this Mincebility Candy here. Ooh, goes for the double slide. That's something that I've really only seen myself go for. I like to go for a bunch of hard strats in this stage because this strat is made by yours truly, me. This is the my strat. And Rox completely nails it. Now here comes Jay's 4-5 arena. Ooh, Rox bonks off that cloud there. Jay's arena also going very well. And there's in that last room, it looks pretty easy, but there's like a bunch of weird things that can just happen in that room. Coming up is 4-6. In 4-6, Rox will be grabbing Sword. Ooh, I'm not too sure if Rox usually spits at those frogs, because those frogs tend to move very randomly and it can be very annoying if you try to not get them out of your way. TikTok's pretty annoying in this stage, but because there's like a bunch of weird things he can do. But Rox just gets the common pattern and takes him out pretty quickly. Grabbing another switch in the dark room. Ooh, Rox just completely gets owned by the poppies. Now he's gonna go through this room without an ability. It could have gone worse. Let's just say that. But it could have also gone a lot better. Now here we grab high jump to take out Krako. I like that strat Rox used to grab high jump because if you use the ladder to climb up, which I'm very sure is faster, you tend to get up inputs a lot on your controller, and it's very frustrating. Because if you hold up, you get a float. And floating's pretty slow. Now I have a quick little climb coming up before Krakow. I'm gonna quickly drink water. Rox was going for the Krakow singles strategy there, but he gets an eat an input on one of his high jump cancels. So that fight didn't go too well for him. Jay, meanwhile, doing the more common double strat, where he goes for 5 double hits as opposed to 6 single hits. That Krakow went a lot better for Jay. But I've never seen that last slide Rox did there. That was kind of neat. Oh no, he missed the door. Just kidding. There's a switch here. And that is the one and only room you will see Stone used in. But coming up in 5-2, we have an ability that's a lot better than Stone. It falls just as fast and is really good against bosses. Coming up is Ball. To quickly explain Ball, you just press B and Kirby turns into a ball. Kirby can roll across the floor, jump, but it's very jank to control casually, but when you know what you're doing, this ability is just a monster. And there's so many cool strats you can use with Ball that save like very little time. Such as this here. Ooh, Rox doesn't choose to unball there, which is a little bit risky. Here comes the ball climb. And Ball falls just as fast as Stone once again. Rox will be going for the most difficult strat you can do against Bonkers. This is called Tonkers. Or not. He just does the regular strat there. And one last cool thing you can do with Ball. This room. Instead of just floating over everything. Look at this graph! Literally, how is that a goal? He didn't even go for Tonkers. Oh no, Jay takes a hit against Bonkers. Aye. Okay, takes him out nicely. So, 5-3 is what I like to call the variety level. You first off have high jump, the fastest vertical movement. Now you have wheel, the fastest horizontal movement in the game. Now, pretty simple level until the very last room. In this last room, Rox is going to go for a strat that Mr. Shasta and MK Cocoon came up with. This is called Shast turns. Rox does an extra float, but other than that, he pretty much nails them. Alright, in 5-4, 5-4 might actually be my favorite level in the game. Actually, I think 5-2 is my favorite level in the game, but 5-4 is also just amazing. You first off have that really, rather surprisingly tight burn you can do there. Jay loses wheel in the spike maze, but that's fine. Ooh, Rox completely butchers this arena. There's another enemy up there and he has to get this guy still. I feel like that last part could have been backed up a little bit better. Now this is Ball Swag. Ball Swag is quote-unquote free. So hopefully we will see none of our runners die to this trick that saves just about a second. Rox quickly grabs another switch. And I wonder... No, that strat Rox does there, it's like... I don't know, it's like very misunderstood. Only like MK Cocoon really knows how to do that one. Now Jay goes for Ball Spike with 1 health. Oh no! Jay messes up free Ball Swag. Jay always says Ball Swag is free, so he should be right, but dang. Rip. Alright, 2 abilities to get this switch here. You first off have Fire, then we have High Jump. There's a lot of like really funny things that can happen in that cannon room. For example, the game tends to prioritize inhaling star blocks over enemies. So sometimes Kirby will just inhale a star block and just land inside of the enemy and it'll explode. Ooh. Goes for a... I'm pretty sure when you're in the high jump movement, you like just barely move faster horizontally. So Rock's tried to like save some pixels there, but unfortunately managed to get a float, probably losing even more time. Now we just have some high jump cancels inside Fire Lion. Well done, Rocks. And in this last room, Rock's gonna go for this dumb wheel mix. And it only saves time if he gets this wheel cancel. He misses it. Now this is 5-6. Now, you can probably tell which ability the game wants you to have, but we just say lol nope and we mix hammer. Hammer is the first ability, so you can just hold down A or B while holding down and you will always get hammer. Now, the reason why we need to keep hammer throughout the stage is because of another stage. Another switch. There's only 2 abilities you can use to get the switch, hammer and UFO. We get hammer because it's earlier on the mix roulette, so it's easier and faster. Jay nails the hammer mix. And another nice thing about hammer is that it just so happens to be really good against this main boss coming up. This is Heavy Mole. And Heavy Mole has a lot of invincibility frames. So he has to be very patient in this fight. Oh, gets hit at the very end. Ooh, that star shot was very low. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't get completely owned there. Because if he missed that star shot, he would have had to wait a really long time for Heavy Mole to attack. A fairly risky play. Now in World 6 is pretty hated in this game. Because there's a lot of garbage in World 6. First off, those frogs. If Rocks had managed to keep hammer through those frogs, the stage would be a little bit easier, but instead he's going to go for this mix. He's aiming for wheel and nails it. You can do wheel or hammer against this metal block along with a couple other abilities, but wheel and hammer are very early in the roulette and right next to each other, so it's really an 8-frame window to time, which is pretty free. Ooh, he decides to keep wheel. So this last room with wheel is very tricky. Oh, gets hit at the very end. Now, there's a lot of different strats in 6-2, but I'm going to assume Rocks will be going for the hardest one. If he gets it, he saves 5 seconds over Jay. If he misses it, he loses a lot of time. Just decides to go for the stone room. Oh no, but he slid the stone! Now he has to go for the mix. I don't know if he's practiced my flowchart. That's not the luck he wanted. He has to mix. He wasn't ready for it. He has to mix off the Sparkies. A huge time saver for Jay. Alright, these Sparkies. Hammer is the very last ability on the roulette. Ooh, manages to get them very quickly. But those Sparkies can be very annoying at times. What? He completely misses the switch there. And also this first room Jay is in is a lot easier with burning than it is with wheel or a different ability. Now, Rocks grabs high jump that's used for one room, or apparently against that Scarfy as well. Then we have burning. We'll keep keeping burning for a not very long time as well. Since coming up is 6-3. 6-3 is like the worst level in the game in 100% basically. We have a mix. These runners have been nailing mixes throughout the run, but this one's different. It's the 21st ability in the roulette. 4-frame window, no queue. Put your guesses in chat. Here we go. He gets it first try! Rox is, like, known to be, like, really bad at 6-3 UFO mix. 100% PP pace for Rox? Eyes. Oh no! He accidentally goes through the door! Just gonna quickly shoot a laser at that rope, and he hits the switch. Here comes Jay's UFO mix. He gets fire! Oh no! This is really bad for Jay. He gets fire again. He gets UFO third try. So he will be breaking even with not going for UFO. I'm not too sure what's up with that UFO movement Jay's doing against Bonkers. I timed what caused this movement to be faster. Everyone needs to switch. It's faster. But now, Rox is going through 6-4, and any percent, you would see these runners going through this stage with either Tornado or Wheel. This time we just have no ability. So it's like a very challengingly different stage without Wheel. Rox nails that Gordo jump. I like how he turned around before jumping, because I think that made the window for it a lot easier to make, that early Gordo cycle. But what was I gonna say? I think there might be a risk of getting an Eden input if you do that, but I'm not entirely sure. I might lab that out, and if it's free, I'll go for it. Now this is 6-5. Rox goes for a very difficult mix in 6-5. The burning mix. If executed correctly, Rox will save a second overall. But if he misses it, he will be losing more than a second. And last tournament race, let's just say he spent a lot of time here, because he kept attempting it over and over again. Here we go! He nails burning first try. A little bit of bad luck from the enemies, but that's okay. This is a really good World 6 for Rox, other than 6-2. I'm like, wait, this is like a really... It was like, I thought this was like a really good run, but he's missed every mix and got completely owned by 6-2. Coming up is 6-6. 6-6 is pretty annoying. Rox taking the burning movement very safe here, and we want burning to go through those metal blocks. Otherwise, you need to hit those metal blocks using a double star. Meanwhile, Jay in 6-5 doesn't go for the mix. He decides to just keep fire. Only a 1-second time loss over what Rox is going for. Oh, so usually that Frosty is in the way of the door, so what Rox does is he holds up to puff the Frosty out of the way, but he was completely out of the way, so I think Rox got a little confused there and just puffed. This is a really good 6-6 arena from Rox. I completely glossed over this, but like, this is easily the hardest part of 6-6, along with the UFO room being very RNG heavy, which Jay is coming up to. Unfortunately, not having burning here makes the UFO room a lot more difficult. Oh wow, he's not getting hit at all. He's gonna quickly grab this UFO so that way he has a way to do this double star. Dude, that's Scarfy! What the heck? I completely missed Meta Knight, but chat's telling me it was good. Alright, World 7, also created. World 7 has a lot of garbage. And especially for beginners, getting the switch in this stage can be really frustrating. Oh, what? I've never seen anyone go that deep there before. Brock's making sure he can spawn that flamer. He let his... Oh, wow, that's like pretty much the worst mistake you could make there. So, what Rox did that was bad was that he took out all of those star blocks. So now he has to... I think he... No, he has to float to get in. Oh, he doesn't have to float. Wow. Okay, well that makes that stage a lot easier. Now Rock's nailing the ball mix. The reason why we want ball is because ball's very strong and we want to use it about... Literally nobody knows that MK. Rock's giving us the chat spoilers. And now we head into 7-2. Nails Bonkers coming up as Fan. Snipers fans in the chat. Nails Fan. Here comes Bugsy. Bugsy does that charge most of the time, but... Oh no, Jay gets completely owned by the Flamer in 7-1. That ability is in his way, but thankfully he realizes it. Gets hit by Fire Lion. He doesn't want to get ball back because he wants burning for these next few stages. A little bit of stream lag there, and Rox has done 7-2. That was really good 7-2. Now we have Jay heading into 7-2. Any second now. The suspense. Meanwhile, Rox is in 7-3. Jay on Bonkers. Nails Bonkers coming up as Fan. Gets a roll. That's what we want. Very good. Bugsy gets a charge. Oh, what? How come he floated? What? Oh. Ooh, that was like... I can't tell if that back up to stay up high and hope Bugsy gives a float was intentional. I'm very curious, because that looked planned to me. Alright, now Rox is in 7-4. 7-4 is very annoying because there's a lot of enemy spam. Geo, I literally don't even remember what I said. That is not a bad word choice, come on. Alright, and now we grab Spark. Now, the reason why we want Spark is because it will make the mini-boss in 7-5 very easy and consistent. If you lose Spark, you have to go with Crash instead, and Crash against Grand Wheelie is very bad. Ooh, a little bit surprised Rox didn't get hit, but that's good for him. That room went very interesting for Rox. Gonna hope this wheelie bonks off the wall. That's exactly what happens. And now we have Wheel. This is the wind tunnel. The wind tunnel is fairly difficult. It's especially difficult for beginners. And if you bonk once, your heart rate literally triples. There's a million things that can go wrong in the wind tunnel. And thankfully, Rox nails it. Now this is 7-6. As you can see, this level looks kind of familiar to some of you. This is based off of KDL 1, the very first Kirby game, released on the Game Boy in, I don't even remember what year. Now, we want to keep wheel as long as possible throughout this stage. This room with the Caboos is very annoying, let's just say. Caboo doesn't do anything stupid, so Rox makes it through just fine. Cloud room. I've never seen anyone wheel there before. How did he make it through the Scarfies without getting hit? I am a little bit amazed. But having wheel here makes getting through those star blocks a lot nicer. Rox wants ball here, the second ability, so it still needs to be a timed 4-frame window. But Jay takes a death on the wind tunnel! Oh no! Rox gets a 5 on the goal game. Okay, and Rox did get the switch in the last stage. That mix Jay tried to go for is a backup that Reeler came up with. Wow, that was a really good DD from Rox. Alright, here comes Orb. In Orb, you just mash and don't get hit. If you get hit, and also you want to make sure your stars do not get blocked by Orb's own attacks. I can't remember who I predicted to win this race, honestly. Now, Rox takes out Orb before the Orb charges, so that's a pretty good Orb from Rox. Only takes 1 hit. Now coming up is the final boss of the game, the Nightmare Wizard. In Nightmare, you have to hit him 6 times with the projectile from the Star Rod. This first one is probably one of the harder ones. Rox completely nails it. Some runners choose to float above Nightmare. I am a non-believer in that. There's the 3rd hit, and I believe Rox will be going for a damage boost, which will give him the early 4th hit. He gets the wand hit, that's not good. So the wand hit does a lot less damage than the actual star hit. So Rox will need to hit Nightmare an extra time. Alright, and Rox improves his PB by 2 minutes and 27 seconds. GG Rox. Done. Now, I'm not entirely sure what happened with Jay's DDD, but he didn't get hit, so that's good. Rox, let's talk about that run. 2 golds.
Yeah.
We heard the sound.
5-2 BTT.
How? You didn't even get Tonkers.
I don't know. It was just the execution was really good in general. Yeah, I missed wheel mix. Literally, if I didn't miss wheel mix,
you missed like half of the mixes in this run.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was a gold. 5-2 was a gold. But no, if I didn't, yeah, I got wanted an early hit because I went super fields came out, went for the super early hit, like that you're never supposed to do because you're guaranteed one hit, and I got one hit, of course. But if it wasn't for that, and if I got wheel mix, that would be. But 6-2 was garbage. That was awful.
I was like, oh, he's gonna go for the mix. And like, okay, he doesn't go for the mix. And then he slid him.
I accidentally slid. Yeah. But my 7-1 is what really killed it. That was like super killing it. I could have potentially PB'd if it wasn't for that. No, I could have definitely PB'd if it wasn't for that, looking at the splits. So 6-2, 7-1. The early game of World 6 was awful. That was really unfortunate. Well, my World 7 was insane, aside from that 7-1. I lost like 15 seconds at 7-1. It was a 6:33, so that was like a 6:18 side 7-1.
Dang.
Which is actually insane. And Jay finishes up the 45-32, it looks like. Yeah.
All right, I'm not entirely sure if Jay will be able to join us for... Yes, okay.
Is
Jay will be joining us for an interview.
Is Race Rocks dead yet? Can we kill Race Rocks?
I don't know about that one.
Please kill Race Rocks.
GG.
GG, Jay. That was a nice run. One thing that I really want to ask you about, that Bugsy backup in 7-2, was that intentional?
I got an up input.
Yeah. And then you floated, so Bugsy gave a float. Was that intentional?
Yeah, I haven't done... I used to do that backup when I first started running, but I haven't done it in a very, very long time.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So, it's like, well, I guess this will probably work.
Aside from that up input, that was a pretty good 7-2. Both runners had really good 7-2.
Yeah, my 7-2 was BTT phase until Fireline gave me the bad pattern.
Ah, dang.
Yeah. But that World 7 was insane, holy crap.
Even if I didn't get that up input in Bugsy, mine wouldn't have golded because I was playing it really safe, making sure I killed the corpses.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I could have gone for faster door entries, but I just opted to hold A longer on them. I died in a wind tunnel again. That was fun.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't entirely see what
Hey,
was happening.
do you guys remember... Literally, okay. The last time I've died in wind tunnel was last year's tourney race against Rocks.
Was it? Oh my god.
I have never died in wind tunnel since until today.
Jay, what was your final time on your splits? I need to know so I can put this in for the challenge page.
It's like... I don't know. I can look at it later.
I'll rewatch the VOD.
It's like 45-30 or 45-31.
Oh, you already reported it? Sick.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway, this concludes today's Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland 100% tournament race. Congratulations, Rocks. Jay will be moving on to the losers bracket, and he will be facing... The bracket hasn't updated.
It's FSS
to be determined.
Hybrid. Yeah, I don't think I know yet.
It's FSS versus Hybrid.
Honestly, I think
very much for
watching.
losing
This race
gives
me an easier
another
bracket.
race starting up very quickly. And that pretty much concludes everything today. Thank you all so much, and have a good night.
See ya.
See ya.